Taurus, I've been working with your energy for a while now, like a while. Okay. And I have a few cards out already, but every time I get past a certain point in the reading, it's like Spirit has me stop. So I don't know if that's because something has yet to be decided and settled out for you, and it's kind of like this ongoing thing that's happening, or whether there's something we are not looking at that we need to. So I'm going to try one last time. And if this doesn't go through, then we're going to leave it there and you'll never see this. So I'll tell you the cards that I did get. And it's not the easiest of messages. There's something fragmenting you right now. There's something pulling you in all different directions. It's hitting on some kind of wound within you that makes you feel desperate. Now, I got the card Shadow and Light, so this might not be at the top of your mind, right? Like, I'm not saying you're walking around saying, oh, I feel desperate, but you're fighting really hard for something, or you're very determined for a certain outcome, or to succeed, or to stabilize something. You're pushing yourself very hard. And that's because you're trying to avoid this fragmentation. But it's almost like the harder you push, the more fragmented you get. And the reason you're trying to avoid fragmentation is because something in the past, maybe yesterday, maybe 2 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, whenever it was, left you without resolution, left you feeling alone, left you feeling like you've come apart and nobody was there to help you put yourself back together. You've had to struggle to revitalize yourself, to get your life back on track. You've been through a lot. And like the scavenger, you've gone around and taken, lessons from here, lessons from there, skills from there, and you've created something quite beautiful for yourself, who you are. But there's a fear, whoever I'm connecting with today, that I'm picking up on, that you could come apart at any moment. And this fear is deep, right? Like, it's not right there in your mind, it's in the shadow. And it's your adversary, this fear. This fear of, it's also a fear of betrayal and somebody taking something from you. So think about it. When in your life did someone take something from you? And it could be your energy, could be your innocence, could be your time, could be your money, could be your heart. I don't know. But this feeling of, I have to work so hard, this desperation feeling, is your adversary in the sense that it's trying to teach you something about yourself and how you push yourself beyond your means at times. Because you're so strong and you're so strong, sometimes you forget that you also need a break. On this card, it says hard work, diligence, progress. Then we have fragmentation. Then we have desperation, scarcity, wanting. Then we have demons, shadow, self-integration. Then these cards, the queen, determination and sacrifice. The archer, biding your time, planning ahead. Holy schmoly. This is so much pressure. Now, you're a boss. Everybody knows that about Taurus. When Taurus is focused, that's it. It's going to get done, and it's going to get done well. And nobody's saying that you shouldn't be that way and you should try to be something else. But it's like you're exceeding your own limits. So I don't know what you're trying to prove and to who, but if this feels like a little bit of a warning reading, to take back some of your energy and your power that you've been giving away to a certain goal or situation. Now, I was getting a message that there's been a lot of interference. There's something ongoing interfering with your time. Now, it could be something you're working on, or again, it could be someone else that's come in your field and they're screwing things up. Okay? The cards that came out for your support are the guide and the fate, inheritance, correction, and accepting help with guidance. Now, this inheritance, I also got in my meditation for you. I wrote down, you are the rightful inheritor. It feels like Spirit wants you to know everything is going to be fine. And yes, you've played a heavy role in making sure that your life is comfortable, is safe, is going the way that you want. But don't forget that Spirit is also guiding that. It's not all on your shoulders in the way that you think it is. You've inherited something in this lifetime that is telling you you don't have to work this damn hard right now. You need to accept help from Spirit, and you might need to cut the cord with something, because it does feel like an energy is corded to you. It's like pulling you, fragmenting you, pulling you in all different directions. You need to course correct this little bell here. Clear out some mental chaos, whether that's your own or others, that you're trying to grapple with and understand. And let Spirit guide you. Okay, let Spirit guide you. Okay, so I'm going to get some more cards out, Taurus. But this is usually how far I'm getting now in the message. And then we kind of stop there. So maybe that's all you need to hear. I don't know. But let's go in further and see. So I'm going to pull a card on top of adversary and see what else needs to be said. Meadow, number 42, success, positivity, and blessings. Oh, I like to see the energy shift. Do you need an adversary in order to be successful? Do you strive when you have something to compete with, or someone to compete with, or you have an enemy that you're trying to prove them wrong? You know, I feel like there's healthy competition for sure, but maybe you're beyond that. You're past that. Maybe you don't need an adversary anymore. You are blessed. You truly are. And it's a little ironic, actually. It's like you're so blessed, but you're also the one to work so hard. So I feel like Spirit is asking you to relax a little bit. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to minimize whatever it is that is going on for you. But if you don't work on this integration of this wound that is driving you to exhaustion, you're going to hit a point where you'll have to accept help. It won't be a choice anymore. Okay? So let's see. Tell me more about the scavenger energy. Third eye blind, ignoring intuition and self-doubt. See, it's like your intuition's getting a little muddled here. And then the other card is grounding, centering, and connection. Right? When you're grounded and you're connected and you feel stable and you don't feel like, you know, you need to push yourself, then you're flowing. And things are flowing to you quite easily. But when you're in the scavenger energy, you're blocked. Okay, that's just what I'm seeing. And you don't have to feel this way, is the big message. So let's get another one on fragmentation. Sacrifice. you need to sacrifice something. I mean, you already are sacrificing something, right? You're healing your heart. But you need to sacrifice this perfectionism, this, I don't know exactly what it is. Mentorship, maybe you're trying to set an example here. Ambition, I'm seeing. There's something in one of those categories that you need to release a little bit. You can't keep going like this. Once you sacrifice something, you will get back tenfold. Okay, because you're being guided to sacrifice something. Maybe you need to say no. You made a commitment to do something and you need to say, no, I can't do that anymore. Okay, so let's see. Shadow and light. Shadow and light. Underworld. The shadow realm. Reincarnation. And mischief and mayhem. Freedom, surrender, abandon. Yeah, there's something in your shadow that's running amok. Taurus. That's okay. It happens to all of us. But the best of us are those who can catch that, understand it, see where it's coming from, what's going on, and why we're so complex, or why we're so worried, or why, our bodies are acting up and we don't know why. Like, catching that moment and saying, whoa, I gotta recenter. I need to ground. I need to recalibrate. I need to sacrifice some things. Some things need to get off my plate. It's too much. I need some help in order to figure out what this is all about and how I can save myself from being pulled apart by these interfering energies. There's something you don't want to surrender to. Maybe it's your own energy. You feel tired. I mean, look at you. You're tired, but you're not going to surrender to take that nap because you got a deadline. It's that vibe. Now, this could be even in relationship to a love situation where you're so determined to make something work, but it's just not working. Or you're trying to figure out what's going on with someone when you just can't. But you're so determined to figure it all out. Okay, that's just your shadow creating mischief for you. You have to surrender that. Okay, so just for now, for the time being, maybe you can come back to it later. So let's get into the tarot and see what else Spirit wants to say to you. I don't know. Usually I do an extended reading, but I don't even know if I'm going to do one. Death. Transformation. Yeah, I mean, this is clear as day. Okay, I'm going to jump to your advice now, and I'll tell you the rest of the cards after. But your advice is the Chariot, which is a card of determination going forward and being brave. However, the Chariot only goes forward once they're able to combine the forces of light and dark, shadow, unconscious or subconscious, and consciousness. And that's what the card is telling you to do, shadow and light, self-integration here. That's the only way we can really move forward and be protected in the way that we want to be protected. So that's your advice, is to take this moment in time as an opportunity to figure out why you push yourself to this level, why you're so hard on yourself. Okay, and you are hard on yourself. Why? Where does that come from? Can you heal that part of yourself? And then you can go forward with a determination that is healthier for you, that is loving and kind, that allows you to take breaks, that doesn't ridicule you. Okay, death as your overall energy. So let's see, that's the card of transformation. But I have to say, it could also be feeling like you're at the end of your rope with something, you know? Dead tired. And it's interesting because I sat here for so long working with your energy, and like I kept I basically did what the reading's telling me you're doing. It's like I tried over and over and over to make something happen. And then it was only when I really surrendered and said, all right, you know, because I was looking for the good things that might be coming towards you too. And then it's like Spirit would stop me, be like, no, we're just talking about this right now. Once I surrendered to that, to really focusing on what's really bothering you or what's really going on that's challenging you, now we've made it past that point of being blocked. Okay, so there's something here where you really need to turn inwards and address. King of Pentacles, it has to do with your security. There's a transition period coming up. There's a change. There's transformation ahead on the horizon. It could be something you're looking forward to, but it also brings a degree of uncertainty. That's why you're planning ahead so much. Because you don't want that uncertainty. You don't want something to happen that puts you in a place of scarcity. But that's just a worry right now. You have two options. To not go through with whatever that is that you're fearful of, or to have faith and go forward, accepting that there is some uncertainty there, but there are also blessings there too. Okay? Because you're kind of in this state right now where you're like, change has to happen, but I don't know if I like it. Yeah, it feels like you're working against yourself in some way, even though you're convincing yourself that you're working for yourself. Okay, what you don't see coming is the Five of Pentacles. That's that scarcity, right? And here we have like a chess game. It's like if I make all the right moves, if I plan out everything perfectly, then I can avoid scarcity. I can avoid a loss. But actually, it's the chess game itself that's creating the depletion. You could be even experiencing, I think I already said it, some health things going on. So let's see with the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, Six of Swords. How do I say that? You don't need to hit so-called rock bottom or to have a total burnout in order to correct yourself, but you might if you don't take Spirit's advice, if you don't accept the help that Spirit's offering you. You know, spend a cozy afternoon with yourself with some tea. Get into this energy. Listen to some music. Turn off your phone. Make yourself not available. Heal yourself. Anything else with what Taurus doesn't see coming? Yeah. This is a warning. Okay, this isn't for sure going to happen, but it is where the energy is currently flowing for whoever I'm connecting to. This is exhaustion, burnout, scarcity mindset, hitting rock bottom and being like, oh, there's only up from here. This is so bad. But it's painful. This is also you ignoring what's really bothering you. Don't do that. You're betraying yourself. You could be focused on some other issue because it's letting you ignore something else. Yeah. What is that issue, Taurus? You gonna tell me? What are you ignoring? Spirit and matter paradox between realms and equilibrium. you're at a choice point in your life. You know the transformation's coming up. You're between realms, and you have a big decision ahead of you in some way or another. There's some kind of paradox you're ignoring. It could be that, you know, what you're doing in the 3D realm in your day-to-day isn't lining up with your spiritual knowledge, your spiritual wisdom, your spiritual practice. There's something disconnected, spirit and matter. You need to get more in sync. Your lived reality has to line up with your spiritual reality and your spiritual beliefs. Wolf moon, restoration, incubation, and growth. Yeah, you need this, and you know it, and you're ignoring it. You need restoration. You need time away. You need time to yourself as well. Nine of Pentacles. Now, I feel like this is the opportunity. And again, this is an independent energy. It's sovereignty, it's freedom, but it's also being alone. But I feel like there's something that you could do that would support you and benefit you. It's kind of like a creative solution to your problem. It's not like you're working on something massive and then you're like, oh, this is killing me. I'm just going to drop it and leave for a month and then come back to it. It's kind of like changing the way you approach something, or taking a different approach in a relationship. You've been trying to get through to your partner in one way, it's just not happening. Maybe try a different approach, one that allows you to stay centered and grounded. It feels like you need a creative approach to something, a new approach. Like, for example, the wise one, tradition and order. Yeah, I was just going to say the order. Sometimes on this channel, I read the signs from Aries all the way to Pisces because it gives me a structure and order I need in order to do other things and to be creative in other ways where I don't have to channel into who should I read for today. It's kind of all set out for me, which frees up my space in other ways. Sometimes I can't do an order. It's just not happening, okay? I can't read for a certain sign that day. It's just not time, or whatever the case is. And so I have to allow that flexibility to read for whatever sign comes through, regardless of what people expect me to do. So there's something like that, tradition, order, in reverse. Changing up the way that you're doing something. Finding a creative solution so that you can still keep going and making progress here and upholding the things you want to uphold. In a kind of unique way. You need to do something creative and original and something that aligns, that goes with your flow. Anything else here? You know, sometimes like I can't read for any sign, so I do a collective reading. Sometimes I can't read at all, so I don't, you know? So whatever it is for you, try to see if you can take the same approach. Okay, 3 of Swords, the 4 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. You know, Taurus, I think you've always carried a lot of responsibility for yourself from a young age, but also for others. You've had to learn how to be resilient for a long time and to keep going, to keep fighting. Even though you're hurt and wounded, you still show up. And now's a time in your life where you can change that pattern. You can break that pattern and start a new pattern and heal yourself from that. Okay, Page of Cups for the challenge. Let's see. Let me show you this guy. He's holding a massive cup. Four of Swords. Yeah, that's rest. That's relaxation. That's the challenge. New creative ideas come when you take a break. You know, sometimes you need to let things gel and sit and percolate before they can actually come into being. Sometimes we try to work right through the problem, but we need that quiet time in our mind in order for everything to come together. It's literally how the brain works. You know, sleep helps us retain knowledge better because we turn our brains off for a while and let it do its thing. So there's something here. This could even be love or creativity or intuition. There's something that you're after, but you're pushing it too hard. Okay? So the challenge is to allow yourself to have a break so that you can have that inspiration, so that you can have that joy, so that you can find the love, whatever it is for you. You know, maybe you're going on date after date after date. Chill. Okay. So let's see. The Chariot as your advice. And this reading is shorter, and I find that interesting. It fits the energy. Knight of Swords in the Chariot. Who's the critic in your head? Who's this Knight of Swords? They're kind of like poking you along here. You see that? Maybe somebody's putting pressure on you and you haven't even realized that yet. Let's see. The Magician. Yeah. Six of Cups. This could be a parent that's living in your head, whether they're here or not, you know? This is the Knight of Swords. It's a self-critic. It's a voice saying, go, go, go. So let's get, let's look at the outcome, and then I'm going to pull an oracle card. And then I think I'm going to leave the reading here. I don't think we need an extended. I think I'm going to take the advice here too that Spirit's offering and just leave it there. So the Hermit. For the outcome. This is going within, taking time out to yourself, right? That alone time, doing some self-reflection, some shadow work. Four of Cups. And learning how to say no. Nope, nope, nope. You need to reject some things. People, tasks, demands, your own pressures that you give yourself. You need to be able to say, nope, I'm not doing that. And Taurus, I know you have that in you, and I know you're good at that. But when you push yourself, there's like, you really do it. You really go hard on yourself. So you're going to come to some place once you go within and you integrate some of this shadow energy where the scarcity doesn't scare you anymore. Okay? The wanting doesn't scare you anymore. The rejection doesn't scare you anymore. You heal those wounds so that it's easier for you to say no. It's easier for you to honor your energy in the moment rather than saying, oh, I'll just catch up on sleep later, or I'll rest later. You do it now in the moment. Okay, let's get a closing card for you, Taurus. And call it a day. Let's see. Closing message for Taurus. What is it that they need to hear? Resonating. Whale song. Beautiful. Number 61. Remembering, harmonizing, resonating. There are moments in life where you have a sense of deja vu, that you've visited this place, these feelings, this person before, and you know that a new opportunity to dance has come round again. Yet there is a haunting quality to this. A melancholy as life's mysteries, fragility is also underlined, like a whale song that pleads for its simple notes to be matched by another. You have a short time to capture this essence and let it resonate in a way that is potentially transformative, but only if you don't turn away. Sometimes you may forget the moments of your humanity, your truest desires, because you've become so earthbound and calculating, striving, and doing. You're so overstimulated by the chase and what you're exposed to that you forget your heart. Now it's time to jump in the water and play, and be reminded of your creative self, your collaborative impulse to sing along, seeking harmony, beauty, purpose, and meaning. At this moment, that is your exact invitation. You will achieve more than the plans you set in motion if you use this opportunity to explore, be curious, and take a much-needed break from what your mind thinks it needs to accomplish. Your heart is calling. Answer it. All right, Taurus. Clear message. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.